So this is a 15-degree cold start in the morning, okay? For Australia, this is an ice cold start.
6 seconds until the rattling was gone.
Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Vera.
And in this episode, we're gonna exchange our brand new Fi oil pump in our Land Rover Discovery 3 against a brand new Ford Motor Company oil pump, which we bought from PSA.
Hope you enjoy the video.
You guys remember in the last video we talked about the extremely low oil pressure we got on our Land Rover Discovery 3 after we installed this Fi oil pump?
Well, we asked you guys whether we should keep the Fi pump or replace it with a OEM pump.
If we should replace it now or if we should replace it in fall time when we take the engine out for a rebuild. And most of you came back saying you gotta replace it now. And Vera was all happy about this.
Thank you.
So I ordered this pump and we're gonna put it in now, and I give it only like a 15% chance that this oil pump actually changes something. And I also put the car in excess height. This is easier for me to work on because because Vera is not so tall. Why are we changing our oil pump? It's brand new. We installed it 2 months ago. We installed the FAI oil pump. The reason is we have less oil pressure than before we installed this pump. And we also have a longer startup period to receive oil pressure in the morning, significantly longer. And most of our viewers recommended in the video comments that we should get rid of that FAI oil pump. We listen to our subscribers and to our viewers and to our patrons. So I bought the new Fomoco original pump and we're gonna install this and see if it makes a difference, because we think this is gonna help everybody to decide if they have to spend more than 300 euros for a pump or only 120 euros for an aftermarket pump.
That is the original oil pump. And you can see the weak spot here compared to here.
Instead of buying the expensive Jaguar pump, I bought the exact identical pump labeled PSA Stellantis for 120 euros less. It is the exact same part. So from PSA, the latest one you gotta use is 101 G2. Saves you some money. It also comes with the seal, okay? When you get the FAI pump, it's missing these markings, so the pump can't be any good. It comes with the installation sleeve. This is exactly the same repair as if you would be doing your timing belt. We're gonna make it look really easy to install this pump. The main reason is because I cut all the bad scenes out of the video.
A new crankshaft seal from L-Ring, and just in case they are leaking again, 2 camshaft seals. He's got a special tool to secure the crankshaft.
This is a tool I use to take the crankshaft bolt out of the front of the engine. Yeah. So I do not apply the torque to the flywheel, which is held in position by this tool.
Those are the camshaft locking pins.
Very well.
And we have that tool to get out the van. I have all my torques.
I got myself like a really nice assistant here.
Like always.
Very well educated. You made yourself all black there. And you're not wearing a dress, so it must be a really good day. We got a hot day today, so over there in Australia. See, these are solid steel toe shoes. We wear this stuff around here, even if it's above 25 degrees.
I wear running shoes.
You're still there, black.
Oh, that's okay. I know Sarah.
So we'll start up here.
So we had a little bit of an oil leak.
We had a little bit of an oil leak after the oil leak fix.
Exactly.
Okay.
See what happens.
Protecting our radiator. Left hand thread, okay. Okay, and that's it. You see how easy this goes? Okay, so now I can just turn this off. Alone this thing can already take you the first 2 hours. Taking the air intake off. No, I'm never annoyed. Okay, only like most of the time. There we go.
Yes, if you have a Discovery and you fix your car, you need hooks.
Okay, that is the air intake temperature sensor.
13 millimeter. It's a 3/8 inch
There's oil.
That's even here you see it dripping. Oh.
There, this is the part we forgot on Fabian's car. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the coolant out and I'm gonna free up this plastic shroud here so I can take it out to the top. Gonna take these out, see? And over there. One of the nasty things. So that's enough coolant out. Now I gotta clean up my mess.
Yeah, oh my god. There's a thingy inside. He's gonna disconnect the battery.
Should have done that, of course, in the first step. What I'm doing is I'm taking this plastic shroud out so I have more room. And there is this bolt here in the side. And you can see I can get that out by pulling the entire thing over a little bit. And now it's out. I can take now this plastic shroud out easily. This air intake out.
Oh my god.
No, that's easy. Faking stuff.
Never faking anything.
This is the LR time oil sensor assembly. Loosening the EGR pipe connection. See, I put in socket head screws instead of Torx because they're much easier to get out. So the first EGR pipe is out.
You are having a bad day.
These are easy to confuse later on. I put that right back in here.
Look at that, my butterfly.
You want to focus on...
Oh.
You guys want to see the tie wrap or the butterfly valve?
The butterfly valve.
Okay, then show the butterfly valve.
Yeah.
Typically a diesel doesn't have a throttle valve. Why does this one have one? Well, very simple. If it goes into exhaust gas recirculation mode, it slightly closes this butterfly valve so that the exhaust gas is taken in and burned, okay? But we talked about this before. Exhaust gas recirculation on diesel engine is completely useless because it only works on days between 18 and 24 degrees under full temperature of the vehicle, if it's not raining, no full moon, and the car is not full with passengers.
And we are not allowed to blank it off. You have to put in my new serpentine belt. I wonder why we never cleaned that engine.
When you start filming, I'm supposed to say something, not you. Manifold absolute pressure sensor here. The bolt was loose.
Oh my god.
Wiggle it careful from one side to the other.
Know that stuff also because we watch YouTube channels.
Taking this coolant line here off. And you don't want to break this plastic piece back here. There. See?
Yeah. February 6th. That's when we changed the oil pump and the timing belt. So now we're going to take off the serpentine belt.
Now the direction of rotation on the engine is if you view in driving direction, so towards the back of the engine, it's counterclockwise, okay? Okay?
Oh, there's not enough room.
No, it's only tight for a Toyota driver. As long as you don't see any cracks when you turn it around and you go like this belt is still perfect.
Oh, I see a crack.
Okay,
oh,
that
you're
one,
shitting me.
Yeah, that crack is not, it's not counting.
Yes, it's counting.
Okay.
There's another crack here.
This belt would run in a Toyota another 200,000 kilometers.
Idler pulley. Ah.
This impact gun was 36 euros. And for this small stuff, it's completely sufficient.
And we'll be taking it on vacation.
I want to make sure I'm not having the impact gun running the wrong way when I start. These are E12 Torx. Pulley wheel. The same socket. We take the crankshaft pulley wheel off. Okay.
Oh, the pulley wheel. I know.
And then we will already be able to see our oil leak.
Yes. Oh, it's all about extensions. Why are you disagreeing with me all the time?
Because we're married. And you don't want to drop anything. You gotta get this carefully out. There you go. And that's where you usually see your oil leak.
Oh,
Okay.
down here.
Well, that's where it's collecting, but where is it coming from? I would say this side is dry.
Oh, here it's coming.
Can you relax a
No,
little?
here is the drop.
That's where the drop is collecting, but you got to look for the source, and I see it being wet up here, okay? This is where the source is. and then it's leaking down on this side and it collecting down here. This is going in this way, and this is the drop you saw, okay? And look here.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and this side is dry.
Yeah.
This drop comes from here, but it's running down. There is an intermediate drop going down here, and the source is up here, this camshaft. This time we're gonna have to change this.
Although we have to take all that off.
We have to take most of that off anyhow.
I just had to make myself some coffee.
As long as you don't show how to make coffee.
No, I don't show how to make coffee.
Just so we don't lose track of what we're doing, we're gonna take now this idler pulley off, then we take the alternator out, we take the starter motor out, then we lock the engine in the top dead center position using that pin in the alternator aperture and the timing pin bolts here in the front pulley wheels.
Yeah.
And then we can take the timing belt off. Of course, check it. This
battery.
is the battery connection. That's why it's important to have the battery disconnected.
Are you ready to take it out? Oh, they are all torqued to spec. I mean, we've showed that before. Okay.
Okay. Now there's a cable underneath, which I want to take out. There. And that's it. Land Rover calls it the generator.
Yeah.
Is causing a lot of problems. In our previous video, we showed how you inspect in here the brush assemblies. It's a good idea to do that after 150,000 kilometers. Yeah, that's a big source of problems. Now I gotta go underneath and take the starter motor out, which is the most painful job on doing a timing belt. I take this little side bracket off here. I do this off camera. I gotta relocate the diesel cooler here so that I can get the starter motor into the correct position. There's one bolt, you see it over here with a 10 millimeter. I removed this bolt here to loosen up the starter motor cable. That gives me later on some more slack. And then over here you can see I took the diesel cooler down and I'm gonna relocate that into different positions during the job. The next step is now to get the starter motor bolts out. They're 13 millimeter hex head with a bunch of extensions, and you get that from your assistant. I took two bolts out, this one and this one. They're really easy to get to for a Land Rover driver. And we got a huge oil leak right there.
A huge?
Yeah, it's pretty big. I think that's the rear crankshaft seal. So that will be done in fall time. And then over here you can see our transfer case is also leaking somewhere. So removing the dust cap from the starter motor cable nut. And now I can take this nut off. I got that with a regular fine ratchet spanner. See, in the next step, I relocated the oil cooler. I shoved it all the way up there, okay? And now I gotta maneuver the starter motor in a position where I can take the solenoid wire off. So all this is possible because I located the car over my pit, over to the driver's side, okay? I'm sorry, you guys in Australia, over to the passenger side. So because I got the alternator cable removed from the alternator and from the starter motor, I can pull that down out of the way. This gives me the magic room to relocate the starter motor.
Now, you do my...
Here, you gotta film up here and see how I gotta relocate the starter now to get it out. See how it works here?
Yeah.
See how much room there is? That's Land Rover room, okay? This is not Toyota room. It took about 30 minutes to get the starter motor out.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
See how I shoved the cooler all the way up there next to the engine mount? And that's the position I needed to get the starter motor then out.
Oh, and by the way, all that surface rust will be taken care of when we take the engine out.
Now I gotta bring the engine into the correct position for changing the timing belt. So I gotta remove this excess plug here. That's the closure plug. Yeah, 21 fits.
Medium size extension. Here.
Okay, here's the thing. See how I got this mirror here positioned? And it's looking into my aperture here, which is this hole, so that I can see the locator coming up on the flywheel. I got my ratchet here set up so that I can turn the engine in counterclockwise rotation, looking at it in driving direction. We're going to watch for an opening coming up here.
Oh, the car is moving.
Oh, we got it in gear. Let me take it out of gear.
Now I know what he's talking about.
I tell you when we're coming up to one.
Okay.
Okay, in my opinion, now there gotta be something coming up.
Yeah, slowly. Stop.
Is there something?
Yeah, right in the middle.
Okay, now let me put in the pins up here.
I hope you can see that.
See, she needed a step. Now you can see that I can get these into the locating holes here. There, fits perfectly. 6mm cut-off socket head screws. Do not have any heads. I can later on take these 3 bolts out and take the pulley wheel off without hitting the head here. I'm so smart.
Okay. Oh my god. Holy crap. Oh my god. Here too, everything is wet.
Now I gotta put this thing in and then I secure it with a bolt.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I get this nice and loose in here. See, there.
Yeah. Use that screw.
And I put that in here. See?
Yeah.
I do not want to loosen the crankshaft bolt only having this thing latched, okay? I show you how to get that crankshaft pulley off. They are still nice and loose here, which is a really good sign. Now I can take the belt tensioner loose from the timing belt. See it snap loose. Okay. I always have some Loctite on this bolt. And now we can take the timing belt off.
You're supposed to mark it in which direction?
I marked it. I have here the marking direction on. See?
Oh.
That's the direction of rotation of the engine. Are you happy now? And it's the same in Australia. For better access, we remove this idler pulley assembly. This is not necessary, but you can see much better what's going on.
Oh. Here is the oil pump.
Brand new. And look how the marking lines up from last time. I'm actually able to take this pulley wheel now off.
Oh, I didn't see that, yeah.
See? And I give it a light tap with the impact gun. This bolt can be used up to 3 times.
It's got an extension ratchet. Made in Germany, not cheap Chinese.
So I'm gonna relax this, take my pin out, okay? Now hold it in the position, and now I'm loosening this bolt, all relaxed. When I let it go now, it's gonna spring into one direction. I'm gonna do this carefully. There. Take the bolt out. And now I can wiggle the wheel off. There we go. Oil.
You see oil?
I see oil here. So you should be able to see the oil leak right here.
Oh my god.
See that? That might also be the oil leak on Fabian's engine.
Oh my god.
What, that's a piece of cake?
Don't hit the wall. That's quite a huge wooden screw.
It cuts into it. It clearly leaked on the actual
inside.
rotating seal. The camshaft seal is 1mm underflush to be installed. I made a better tool, an improved tool, which has a much larger seat, and it fits that shaft really well. So with this tool, we can install this and we be sure it's going to be absolutely straight. We cut a piece of tape, okay, over the keyway here, just a slightly bit over the keyway, to make sure we're not catching the edge of that keyway, okay? Film of oil on the shaft, okay?
So that's your last chance, Christian.
Okay, almost used the wrong tool.
Oh my
That's the one I made for the crankshaft.
That's
So
a crankshaft tool.
now we use this tool, okay? It didn't sound like this before, and now we got 1mm all the way around. I can pull this tape off now.
Wait a second.
There, see, I also
Wait a second, punch.
center punched this bolt, so this is now the last time we can tighten it. And what is not known to most people is that stage 1 80 Newton meter plus stage 2 90 degree, but with a maximum of, oh now I screwed it up, 210 Newton meters, okay? So you do not want to exceed 210, and the minimum is actually 100. So I can set my torque wrench to 160, and it will be plenty of tight, even if I'm not getting the 90 degrees. I put this one back on, yeah? Now the bolt goes in here. So I gotta lift this up. I'm trying to not mess it up. There it goes in. When I tighten it, I actually take this out.
Yeah.
Pin out.
Yeah, please.
Okay, now I put my pin interim back in. 90 degrees is maximum. Yeah. And that's good enough for me. That's 160 Newton meters. 100 Newton meter is min, 210 Newton meter is max. Put the pin back in.
Oh, I forgot we still have to do the oil pump change. So he's installing his special tool.
The crankshaft is not applying any force onto the flywheel back there. This bolt is tight.
Yeah.
There we go. You don't want to get that washer loose or lose it. Yeah?
The air nozzle.
So we got to remove the alternator mounting bracket. Is I got to remove a heat shield. So there's this heat shield, and I got to put it back in like this. There's a locating pin. With this out, I can actually get to the mounting bolts from the alternator bracket. Can't believe we're doing that after only like 3 months. So this is the 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
You can only reach from underneath the car.
Carefully lever it off
From the pump.
and here. From where it seals against. Okay, and then see, you wiggle it.
And there it comes out.
There we go. Very easy. And there is the fire pump.
So you got to remove the residual sealant.
Yeah.
So before we forget it again, I have a new serpentine belt.
Okay, we gotta put some ATV, high temperature up to 340 degree, into the corners of the oil pump right here. There's one bead. See that?
Yeah.
And there is another bead over here in this corner. I actually seal the surface here as well. Yeah, and I gotta smear this on a little bit. Don't worry if this is coming, the filter will filter this stuff out. And we're not priming the pump before putting it on, okay? Otherwise you can't get gasket sealant on here. I show you how to prime the pump later on when it is installed. Now the pump comes with this installation sleeve. It's gonna snap with these 4 millimeters over the crankshaft, and then it's pushing the sleeve out. So watch it. Put it nice and straight over it. There it is. See, it just went in.
Yeah, now it's...
See, now the seal is coming out. See, it's in.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now there's a tightening sequence that you have to follow. And then number 9 and 10 from the bottom.
That we use bolt number 1 and 2, and we get them lightly snugged up. Feel that the pump is sitting in the seal. And now I go underneath and snug up the 4 bolts underneath very lightly. 3 Newton meters, something like this. Make sure the pump is pulled into the gasket.
Those 2 bolts first.
Yeah. I got it set to 10.8 Newton meters. And number 10, the one in the corner.
And now you have to go underneath the car.
4. So I made also for the crankshaft seal an absolutely perfect fitting tool, which mounts the crankshaft seal 1 millimeter underflush exactly to the specification, and it guides perfectly over the crankshaft here. See, it has a very close fit.
You see how dirty that book is? L-ring.
So it is getting installed completely dry and clean. And it comes with this installation sleeve here. It's like a little funnel. Okay. See? There. All nice and clean. Now I take my high precision LR time installation sleeve. Crankshaft seal installed 1 millimeter underflush.
And it's even.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they look like a piece of garbage. Why they are there?
They are there so this gap is closed. This gotta go like this, yeah. So we know it's 100 Newton meter pre-torque plus 90 degrees, but we know it needs a minimum of 250 Newton meter. So if I set my torque wrench to like 280 Newton meters, it's plenty. Pre-torque to 100 Newton meters.
So I would go 320.
No, we're going 280. There we go.
Schraubensicherungslack. That's what we need. So now he's putting the alternator bracket back on. 23 Newton meter. So he's going to torque those to 47. I doubt there's anything left inside.
The way you put the timing belt on, I take a small socket and I stick it here underneath the timing belt to wedge it in. Okay, don't want to forget the socket later on before I turn anything. And then I stretch the timing belt, moving the pulley wheels when I look at them here clockwise. Okay, so they have later on room to go counterclockwise. And then the same thing here. I got to go clockwise here and set this on. This way this has later on room to go counterclockwise when I put the tensioner in.
So I had to put the Loctite on.
Okay, now I put the tensioner in here. This is a 10.8 bolt going into aluminum. Not in a million years will this bolt ever rip off.
Better not.
As long as we don't over tighten it.
24 Newton meters.
There's a little notch and there's a little key, and I want to get them to line up when I tension now here, and then I tighten the bolt. Okay, there we go. And now I tighten it tight.
That is the most important bolt you have to watch out for.
What is the next step? What I need to do? Did everybody pay attention? I gotta take my wedge socket out.
I would have forgotten about that now. We got that from Piston Broke Garage?
That's a Piston Broke Garage trick, and it makes this so easy. Timing belt pulley wheel bolts. Can you look those up? I think they're 24 Newton meters.
Camshaft pulley retaining bolts.
Yeah.
23.
Okay, a little bit of NASA glue. You know, when some Toyota driver opens this up, he goes like, oh man, these guys from Land Rover here. Take my crankshaft locking pin out now where the timing is fully done.
And don't forget the mirror.
Oh,
I don't want to lose that on the road.
Holy shit, the mirror is still here. And I put the starter motor back in reversal order. That is difficult. We do this off camera.
If you got it out, you're going to get it back in, so you don't need
I
to
don't
see.
know about that. That's only true for Toyotas.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff you can take out of a Land Rover and you're not getting it back in.
Starter motor retaining bolts. 45 Newton meters.
47?
5.
Okay, whatever you adjusted. I didn't check.
45.
If it rips off, it's your fault.
No, it's not.
So that's going to go on and fall. It's not that important.
It's about 2 hours after we put in the crankshaft seal, so we have 2 hours more to go before we can start the engine.
First box empty.
That's great. So he forgot to put that one in. I'm gonna put it to where all my other plugs are. So 16 bolts.
Yeah, and I got the oil all wiped off.
So he's planning on putting the cover on, but he still has the locking pins in.
That is completely out of context, what you say.
We do something wrong.
There it is. Timing chain cover goes back on. There we go.
Yep, we'll do that off camera. Talking 16 timing belt cover bolts. 16. You're only allowed to say the number after you torqued it. You do that now.
Yeah, I gotta plug the connector in first, and then I can set the alternator in place. Land Rover calls this relocate the alternator.
The generator.
The generator, yeah.
No, nothing.
And now I gotta get the screw in.
I wonder what the difference between a screw and a bolt is.
Now you get 100 pounds.
Yeah. So he's pre-tightening them.
Okay, now got it.
And I have here 23 Newton meters. So the alternator cable is also mounted back on. Oh my god. Accessory drive belt idler retaining bolt.
Yeah, M10?
47.
It can't be.
Okay, there's an M10. Retaining bolt 25.
Crankshaft
Pulley bolts.
23.
But it says here crankshaft damper bolts.
Yeah,
14.
it is a damper. Listen, coolant pump pulley bolts are also 23 here. So the torque is definitely 23. 3 Newton meters is like 2 clickety clicks.
Did you measure that?
Yes. Okay, 2 clickety clicks.
3.
Yeah, then it's 28 Newton meters.
Still putting all the coolant stuff back together. It's boring. A rubbing coolant hose is not good. My brand new serpentine belt gets mounted.
Keep this.
I can keep that. I can throw it away.
Yeah, let me mount this off camera because it's such a debacle.
It's always good to have a picture how it was routed. Mounting. Cool. Wiggling it from side to side.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's easy.
So that one is in.
So you better put it in right. Otherwise I'm gonna complain like Fabian did.
We can do that off camera.
Yeah? 10 Newton meters. Good.
Oh, it didn't click for my video.
But it's closed.
It's closed. For priming the oil pump, we remove the filter. We gotta loosen it almost 2 turns and wait a little bit. So 1, 7, we wait a little bit. This opens the drain plug and the oil inside the filter now drains back into the sump. Okay.
So after 2 minutes.
And it's important that it's actually now dripping still oil. See, because that means the filter did not run empty.
Yeah, that's good. So now we have that little plug in this toolbox.
So I'm gonna fill this oil in the outside. This should do it. So I grabbed this little valve and I lifted it up and there is an opening in it. See right here, there is an opening in the valve and I stuck the tie wrap in like this. So that's how I got it now set inside here. I have now 100 milliliters of oil filled into the oil filter housing. And this will slowly drain, and in order to get it into the pump, I have to rotate the pump against the direction of rotation, which is this way when you look at the engine. And I have to rotate quite a few revolutions, okay? So I'm gonna be sitting here doing this for at least like 10 revolutions. And then I check if my oil gets lesser and lesser. And that makes sure the oil gets wound down into the pump. Yeah, so I got it down. That oil is now in the oil gallery.
Is it already enough?
Yeah, it's already enough. So I pull my tie wrap out. That closes my valve in there. And now I can pull my plug out. There. You know how Chuck Norris primes his oil pump on his Toyota?
Oh.
He goes like, boom, done. So we'll put the oil filter back into the Discovery. Make sure that little plug is seated, like this. Second key.
Yeah.
There we go. We gotta get the intake and the fan mounted and the coolant shroud. This is an important bolt on the intake here.
Make sure not to drop it into the intake.
And now I can take this plastic shroud and put it back in place here.
The end is near.
Yes. Now don't go ballistic on this, okay? That's it. Last plastic piece. Make sure that's seated here well. This might be messy.
Oh my god. So now it's gonna...
So, start it.
I don't want to do that. So, okay, now we're gonna start the engine.
Oh, shit.
What? So, connecting the battery is maybe helpful. I'm always stressed that we forgot something or that something is loose. We didn't close everything.
No, we did everything perfect.
So, psst.
Close cycle is over. Okay, at 3. 1, 2, 3.
I counted 4 seconds. So I counted 4.
I counted 4.5.2. So what is really impressive is that it built pressure quicker than it actually does in the morning with the old pump. It took 6 seconds. And that was an almost completely empty,
Yeah.
gallery. So we can go on a test drive now.
There's no rattling at all.
Well, it's cold right now.
Oh, you're a party pooper. Oh, that engine sounds so pretty. Oh my god.
So I gotta say, right now the engine does sound better like before, but this is with cold oil now. You're gonna see how that is when it's hot. No diesel here coming out. Okay, so we are now up here at 1800 feet elevation. That's the highest spot in our area. We drove up here. It takes about 10-12 minutes, and the car has definitely full oil temperature when we are up here. This is the good thing if you live in a hilly area. The obvious thing was the rattling noise and how long it took in the morning to basically get oil pressure.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
So we're gonna know that tomorrow morning.
Oh my
Let's
god.
see how the rattling is.
Okay. I mean, the
Yeah, I hope-
5W40 made a big difference.
Yeah, I hold the camera in here. No rattling. I hold it in here. I mean, I hear a ticking here, but I think that's our timing chain. Yes. But I hear no rattling from the lower engine.
So I'm really, really happy.
So
That was, oh my god. Great. Thank God. We didn't do too much damage, hopefully.
okay, so that was a little bit of a success, I would say. The final check we'll do tomorrow morning, how long it takes to build up oil pressure. And we got this completed. I think I was wrong and most of our viewers were right. It was the right thing to replace the Phi oil pump now with the Ford Motor Company oil pump. So thank you very much for this advice. Yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Think about subscribing, and if you're already subscribed, please don't unsubscribe. And at this point, we also thank our patrons very much for their support. They make these videos possible every week. What else we got?
Oh, I still got patches. So if you want one, send me an email, please.
Okay, the amazing thing is that now after our test drive here back in our driveway, the oil pressure is clearly above 1. And usually in our driveway before, it was always down here at like 0.6, 0.65. So I'm happy with that too. There's no rattling. Everything is gone. We got to get the rooftop tent back on for your trip. All right, good morning everybody. We're gonna do a new fresh start on a Sunday morning. 18 degrees, so it's a relatively warm day. And listen. I would say that was about 2 seconds. We're gonna see in the video when I cut a timer next to it.
And of course, the Discovery is complaining. Low coolant level.
Now that doesn't make it interesting. You're supposed to say we're almost in the desert. Okay, that's enough for this video. Thank you all.
And we'll see you next Sunday.